Ali, 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 yeah. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7.
Islam, 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 Moorish America want to rise upon the 7th within the circle of justice, mercy, love, and right, and give all praises to the great God Allah, Father God Allah, and honors to his holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, El-Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again, here, there, and everywhere, and therefore honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. We give honors to our Grand National Seal. We give honors to our Grand National Emblem, National Flag, Divine Constitution and Bylaws, and honors to all of you who are indeed a living manifestation and personification of everything that our Holy Prophet brought to make us a nation. I want to welcome you, for a grand drawing that we had to bring on the manifest. That there might be a different audience that may be tuning in, and some of our regulars will be tuning in as well, but we got a very powerful measure to bring to our family, and we're going to actually make this the norm because we want to expose what's going on within our community, and why it is that we've been so divided. So that's what this particular measure will be dedicated to. And I'm going to try to make this the norm to bring these measures on the manifest at this particular time, around this time, on a daily basis. So as you can see, the subject title here that we have, is the Book of Makaveli, the Circle 7-Day Theory versus the 48 Laws of Power. And I'm using this verbiage for a reason, for those who are tuned in, so to speak, and also paying homage, to those whom many in our community consider our crucified messiahs. A lot of people think that crucifixion has to do with somebody being hung on a cross. But in all actuality, if you go and look up the definition, it has to do with, one that has been mistreated. It has to do with when people are being dealt with, molested in any type of way, bullied or whatever you want to call it. And this can come in various different degrees and from various different sources. So many of our people right now, are being crucified as we can speak. And that crucifixion has to do with the crucial fiction that relates to the information misinformation, malinformation, disinformation that has been disseminated to the masses, so to speak, via these special platforms. So we finna clear up a lot of the cobwebs of confusion at this particular time to give our family some insight as to why we have been so divided, to give our people, insight as to understand what it is that we up against and who it is that we're dealing with. So be sure to hit this like on this video, family, share and subscribe, because there's going to be some powerful information that you can make applicable to yourself. Notice our subject title again is the Book of Makaveli. And let me correct that, because I see in my, it didn't use the word, it didn't put of there. So let me correct it there. Okay, we can do it here. Here it is. That's where we want to correct it at. We can correct it everywhere else later. This is going to be some powerful information, family. I'm telling you, and we're going to keep this coming. Like I say, I want to make this a norm. I want to make this, I want to bring this up as much as possible. I'm mainly trying to target 2 generations with this information right here. I'm trying to be very creative in the way that I bring this forth, being that I have been exposed to the best of both worlds, when it comes to dealing with coming up out of the youth, and being able to get to where I'm at now, going into the realm of becoming an elder, praise be to Allah. It was a time where I didn't think I'd be 16 years old, the way things were carrying on. And then I also understood that the generation that came behind me would be worse than the generation that was during my time, but it was in my time, in my generation, that we was able to find a light, and find a strength in our beloved brother that you see up there standing next to the prophet, sitting next to the prophet, our brother, Tupac, and that's why I want to build a bridge between these two. And not only that, the bridge has already been built by the brother Pac himself, unbeknownst to many. If anybody know our beloved brother and they dug deep into the history, he had 7 brothers that was a part of, what he called the outlaw immortals. And those 7 brothers, some of them was his relatives, and some of them was just childhood friends, and so forth and so on. And each one of those particular brothers, he gave them a name. And the name had to do with those who were pretty much despised rulers of different governments around the world. So he named one brother Hussein Fatal, behind Saddam Hussein. He named one brother, Gaddafi, after Muammar Gaddafi. He named one brother Mussolini, after Mussolini. He named one brother Idi Amin, after our brother Idi Amin in Africa, and so forth and so on. Castro, he named his cousin Castro, and he himself took the name Makaveli. And there was another brother, which was the last one to come, that is known today as Young Noble. And he actually suggested to the brother, that he take the name Noble Drew Ali. So, that's very powerful, looking at what the brother was demonstrating, because we know our brother was studying government. Our brother studied government. He was deep into government. He was deep into political insight. He was raised up to be able to look at things from this way. And if you ever seen some of his interviews, he would tell you that's what he was demonstrating. He studied governments. He wanted to have knowledge on how to rule, you see, and be ruler. But it ain't strange that this brother, he named his last and seventh member of the Outlaws. He named him, he wanted to name him Noble Drew Ali. So if we go through all of those who he had named all the others behind, and all of those individuals very controversial, and we see the outcome, of most of those especially leaders, and how they end up transitioning and so forth and so on, and the fear that they had put in the West in most cases, but the particular brother that he named the last and seventh member after was Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So that automatically tells us that our brother, and I've been speaking on this recently, but we're going to go deep into it. That let us know that our brother, most definitely knew who Prophet Noble Drew Ali was. He was studying, the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And like I say, I want to make these messages plain, and I want to do this more often because I'm bridging the gap with this information right here. And it's a lot of drawings that our brother demonstrated dealing with the art of suggestion. A lot of people don't know our brother studied a lot of esoteric information in his youth too. He was an avid reader, so he definitely, when he went into the Dismal Crypts, he studied a lot of esoteric information. What he didn't study in the modern context is one of the books that has become most controversially accepted, so to speak, and it is the reason why you see so much conflict and confusion going on around us now. And I'm speaking of the book known as the 48 Laws of Power. We're going to talk about this. See, everybody want to talk about how good of a book this is and so forth and so on. And if anybody know about this book reaching the Dismal Crypts, then they know that this book was actually banned in most institutions. And the reason it's banned because it's saying it arms one with the ability to be manipulative, arms one with the ability to be deceptive, and in most cases they become successful in their deception and manipulation. You see, it's a lot of y'all have this book. I got the book. I got a couple of books written by Robert Greene. But what I understood in regards to dealing with these special books. Happy New Year, Sister Sakina. Peace and love. What I understood about, this special book is that this book, I understood from the beginning when I first read it. I'm going to tell you my opinion of it. I said it was poison. And the reason why I said it was poison, I'm saying poison to the extent to where our people begin to use this information against each other. And that's what I want to talk about today. This information was brought forth by a European who studied some of the teachings of Makaveli. Our brother Tupac had never had a chance to read this information because he had already went into exile 2 years prior to this book being produced. This book was first published in 1998, in Britain, I want to say somewhere like that. And, maybe 2002, somewhere 2000 over here in the Americas. And so this book is a very poison book, family. And I know a lot of people put it up on a pedestal, but this book is the reason why the conscious community is divided. This book is the reason why most of your celebrities now, are falling from stardom, because there are people that is using this information, to tear each other down. You see? Now, this information was given because the European tell you this is deception, to be able to try to gain some type of foothold, in positions, well, in the ghetto or the gutter, it ain't too much in height that you can rise, so to speak. You know, what position are you trying to become in the gutter, so to speak, right? Or even in what they call the trap or the street game. How high can you actually elevate when it comes to dealing with being in the streets? Ask yourself that question. So when you begin to try to use that type of information in that environment, what it does is it brings more chaos to an already chaotic environment. And we're going to get into that in a minute. Now, when it comes to dealing with this information, this European wrote this to show ones how to overcome their adversaries and, you know, wage war, so to speak, psychological warfare upon someone. When it comes to dealing with being in corporate America, rising in the ranks or rising through corporate America, you know. So we already know the deception that Rome demonstrates. So all he is doing is showing us how they think, showing us how the European thinks, you know, and how they go about obtaining power. Exactly some of the same tactics that were used in order to put us in slavery and bondage. But he just brought it forth in a more sophisticated way, you know, and showed how they took the principles, again, of warfare, of Makaveli, and then, you know, they came forth and they try to apply this information to dealing with the way they deal with people. They call it Machiavellian philosophy. Now, our beloved brother, you know, Tupac took the name Machiavelli because he read the works of Machiavelli just like this European did. But the difference between our brother Tupac is that he was understanding, you know, the art of deception and how it was being used on ones, and also how you could overcome your adversaries if they were trying to bring harm to you. But nevertheless, before this book was written, our brother Tupac was speaking in an interview in regards to dealing with the brother Biggie, Notorious B.I.G., Biggie Smalls. And he made the statement, you know, y'all get these likes up. I'm telling y'all, I'm going in. I'm going into a uncharted territory where ain't nobody never been. You know, so I'm telling you, y'all get these likes up, get these people in here, because this gonna be the norm. And I'm gonna be doing them around this time. And I'm still doing my late night library. I just had to reset my circadian clock, so to speak, you know, so that I can bring forth this content to you. The health is the wealth. So what I'm saying, family, when we get into dealing with, you know, this information, our brother Pop in the interview, he said, you know, he was upset with Biggie because he got seduced by the power. See, many let that statement go over their head, family. He said he got seduced by the power. And so, you know, that's his little brother, get out of line, he'll break him down. You know, that's what he was saying. And basically, you know, he waged war by means of his wits and his words, you know, words and wits that some people still, you know, upset about right now. You know, they got people upset with the brother right now because he was that sharp. He was a strategist, you know, and the brother was trained to go, so to speak. He was trained to have a military mind, you know. He was trained, you know. So when you look at it from that aspect, you can see exactly what's going on. So now when we get into understanding, you know, our beloved brother, you know, there's something else, our brother, if you notice, as like I told you, the brother definitely studied the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. In his album, Makaveli, The 7-Day Theory, he spoke of living by the Nile while the water flows. And this is in the song Blasphemy. Contemplating, trying to find basically which door to go. You know, this is basically adept initiation is what our brother was talking about. You know, right there in his information. He was giving it to him in there. You know, he said, as Jesus is a kind man, then he should understand times in this crime land. My thug nation, do what you gotta do, but know you gotta change. Try to find a way to make it out the game. I leave this and hope that God can see my heart is pure. Is heaven just another door? I leave this here. I leave this and hope God see my heart is pure. Is heaven just another door? And all my people say, you know what I mean? So the brother was giving it. He was dropping jewels that people ain't picked up on. You know, in the Psalm Bomb first, he mentioned spiritual lyrics like the Holy Quran. Huh? I can't make this stuff up. I'm telling you what the man said. And not to mention, you know, the actual interview that he did when he was mentioning about going back to Moors, being Moors. You know, it ain't strange because for some reason, all of our greats at some time spoke something great in reference to dealing with the Moors. I don't know. It's maybe something in our DNA. You know, yeah, the hate you gave. You know, definitely the hate you gave. You know, thug life and the hate you give. You know, we already know what it does to the infants and the babies. So our brother was always putting it there, even with the code of thug life. You know, it was, you know, we can go into that alone. The brother rules were deep in yeah, he was definitely influenced by Shiism too, because his cousin say he took Shahada as a Shiite and all of that. You know, so yeah, he was influenced by both of them. You know, this is why he didn't want to play a Muslim role as a gangster on the Minister Society. You know, and his whole family, the majority of his family, was into the Shiism, so to speak. You know, so but Pop was a universalist when it came to his approach to, you know, a lot of the information that he read. He really, you know, was universal. You know, and so this is very important because I'm a harp on this. This book of Makaveli demonstration gonna be a constant thing. You know, because I'm gonna go into these situations with things that are occurring right now, you know, that we see happening amongst us. I'm gonna get into various different situations that we see unfolding right now, the stuff that y'all see being cast out there in the media, you know, but and that's where I want to go right now. You know, I'm getting ready to share my screen in a minute, but I just want our people to see this. You see our brother, you know, they got him up there on the cross. You know, that was the artwork that was being depicted because he was letting you know, what was being done to him, you know. And he said he wasn't, you know, this ain't no depiction trying to be disrespectful, you know, but, you know, they got it. You know, they called the brother Black Jesus, so to speak. But the main thing is that we know our brother was demonstrating what we call messianic code of law. That was the law that he was demonstrating under. And our brother and holy prophet Noble Drew Ali was demonstrating, you know, many years prior to, you know, our brother Tupac. He was demonstrating being the seventh of his time. Our holy prophet started young in his youth, but he also was demonstrating that same messianic code. Now we call it a golden cord of love that run throughout all of the law. You see? But we want our people to have proper understanding and know that, you know, don't get it twisted, you know, because we dealing with laws that are sacred, you see. And so the book of Makaveli is actually in reference to the same symbol that you see right there, the circle 7. And I'm saying the book that he demonstrated, you know, in all actuality, the way he was demonstrating, it coincides with the same thing Prophet Noble Drew Ali demonstrated. And what they demonstrated, you know, is most definitely diametrically opposed to what people are trying to follow from the European Robert Greene. And I'm not here to diss, the European, for writing what he wrote, because we know that's what they do. But we just want to let our people know that this has become the new Bible for our people that's out here in this world, whether they are in the streets, corporate America. And I'm telling you, this is why they have been falling by climbing, trying to climb into the heights of divinity, but they've been falling into the pits and the abyss, of hell, so to speak. This behavior, this doctrine has brought our people hell. So when you see people attacking people within the conscious community for no reason, and they are harping on that attack, a lot of that is coming from the influence of them studying this material. And I'm going to show you the laws that they're using to come after individuals. And this is not only in the conscious community, this is also being done, in the circle of celebrities. In fact, this book became popular because of brothers who were in prison, who read this material. They read it. Like I said, they banned this demonstration. You get caught with this, they would lock you down in confinement, when you deal with this type of, this is a book of contraband. But brothers brought that information out into the streets, and they brought that knowledge out here and began to use it. Some of these brothers became executives, of different record labels, and, are dealing with just being amongst different record labels, or even started rapping, or whatever the case may be. But they took the information that they read in this book, 48 Laws of Power, and they began to use it to try to rise up through the ranks, of the industry. And some use it when it comes to dealing with streets. Then they got the art of seduction, which actually, is a book that gives one insight on womanizing and so forth and so on, in relationships and, all this type of stuff. But this is the Europeans' approach. Anytime the Europeans speak of something, it's always a catch-22 in relation to dealing with it. Y'all get these likes up. I'm telling you, family, they got to hear this information. This is very important. I'm going to get deeper into it in a second. We're going to actually go into the book itself in a minute, but this is very important that our family see this. So when you identify with this, see, a lot of people are going to be upset with me because I'm going into this, because they don't want nobody to know that's how they demonstrate. I don't go by that garbage, because I live by laws that's greater than that. And I want to show you, the difference between the two. I want to show you the dirty glass and the clean glass. I want to show you the truth versus truth and falsehood strangely mixed, so that you know it when you see it. You see, that's the whole purpose of this. That's why we call it, again, the book of Makaveli, the Circle 7-Day Theory versus the 48 Laws of Power. I use that verbiage purposely, so what do I mean when I say Circle 7-Day Theory? Well, we already know a theory lays the basis and foundation for a science, so to speak. So we can really say that when one proved this demonstration to be the truth, then it's no longer a theory. It's a reality. So we're dealing with a Circle 7-Day reality. The science of life is what I'm talking about, versus the 48 Laws of Power, which has to do more with illusion, deception, cutthroat intrigue, and manipulation. You see, we're going to show you the difference between the two. Most of our people already know that European didn't put nothing in that book that we don't already know, and that we hadn't already been experiencing, that some of our people wasn't already doing. He just gave them a textbook, so to speak. And so we trying to show you how to be upright, independent, And Phyllis, yeah, that's right. 7 days in a week, 7 days in a month, 7 days in a year. That's right. That's what we talking about. We trying to show you how to be in the higher self, but we finna show you, you know, what we call the insufficiency of human knowledge. If you're thinking on the plane of things made manifest, and you're thinking that your all and everything it is that you are to obtain is dealing with what's worldly or in the carnal plane, you know, then you got people that want to live by that law. You know, this actually corresponds in most cases, and they agree with it. Robert Greene said it in his book. You know, pretty much the law of self-preservation or survival of the fittest. You know, where everybody looking at each other like they on an animalistic level. You know, y'all remember in Wizard of Oz, they say lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. And, you know, if you really look at this on another level, you know, this is looking at the creature, you know, the animal nature, you know, in our people. Not just our people, human in general, human nature at the lowest vibration, you know, has an animal gene, so to speak. This ain't got nothing to do with Darwinism and evolutionaryism. You know, in all actuality, we're talking about those, you know, who have the mentality that they are like the bear, you know. And I remember back in the days, you know, when it was somebody that was always sticking their chests out, you know, they want to be a bully. You know, they thought they was, you know, basically the baddest thing ever. We would say, man, you ain't no bear. You know, that down here in the South, that's how we talk. You know, you ain't no bear, bro. You know, that's how we speak. You know, so you have those who would try to use that bear trait to intimidate people. You see, all this gonna make sense in a minute because it all attached to the animal urges that deal with these carnal laws of power that one is trying to gain. Some people use means of intimidation to gain power over people. Pimps do it to try to dominate a woman. You know, they call it gorilla pimping. Oh, he went from being a bear to a gorilla. You see? So when you look at it, these are different characteristics. You got the young generation right now. You know, one of the main things they holler, everybody want to be a gorilla. The young generation, I pay attention because I dealt with music. So I still have my ear to, you know, what's being played. And I look into certain things, you know, to know where our people is along the way. And the young generation is quick to say that they are gorillas, they apes. You know, they like to say they primates. You know, they want you to know that they are and some of them will just say, I'm savage. You know, I'm living savage life. You mostly hear that down here in the South. And now people up north are being they are adopting this same mentality, you know, of being a savage. It's good to be a savage. It's good to be an ape, gorilla, primate. You even got people in the conscious community running around talking about they primates. And they believe this right here, you know, holistically, so to speak. You know, so when it comes down to dealing with this family, we're dealing with, I would say, some forms of mental illness that's in play right here. You know, mental illness is at play when we're talking about how people want to identify. Some people want to be lions. You know, some people want to be tigers. You know, untamed gorillas. It ain't enough to be a gorilla. They want to be untamed gorillas down here in the South. That's right, creator of the boundless universe. You know, so words have power and they carry vibration. So these ones are actually personifying animalistic qualities. You hear people talking about the snakes. You hear people talking about the rats. You hear people talking about dogs and cats, and, you know, all of these things we can put, you know, characteristics on that represent, you know, thought activity, so to speak. You know, we know the cat has a connotation, you know, and that's, we ain't gonna go into those special areas right there. But y'all know they use that type of mindset in a derogatory way. We know that when it come down to the dog, you know, some people like, that's my dog. It's a dog eat dog world. Y'all remember Snoop Dogg's song back in the day, right? Dog eat dog world. Matter of fact, his album was called Doggy Style. But anyway, I'm just giving you the different aspects. So our people have been demonstrating a language of degradation, and basically they have been packaging it in such a way, to where it has become accepted as the norm. So everybody want to identify. People like to even get into the aquatic ring. Some of our people like to say that they sharks. You don't want to swim with the shark. We sharks in the water. We eating everything. You know what I mean? Anything that they can say to sound ferocious and vicious, so to speak. But where did we get this behavior from? Did our ancestors demonstrate this in Africa? Was this their mindset? Did they ever demonstrate like that? Now, we know they had totem systems, so to speak. So we know our ancestors recorded certain things in stone. But I'm saying the difference between us and them is that they looked at the higher quality of these different creatures of nature or creation. They didn't look at the lower quality, except to the extent that where they was having mastery over it. That's why in ancient Kemet you would see some, of the Neteru, where they would have the head, of the falcon or the hawk, or the head of the bull, and then the body of the human. And this actually was a representation of dealing with one having a particular quality or potency or attribute that was similar to that. Not a negative attribute, but something that represented power. We know a bull represent power, bull-headed, the horns, so we can see that power, was symbolically expressed, especially from the masculine standpoint, with Asa and a couple of more, Kunam, and so forth and so on, when it dealt with the ram. So we seen also with the woman, the cow, Heteru, who people call Hathor, but then this represented, the woman's aspect and expression of love. But when you get down into the aspect where you will see the human head, upon the body of the animal, then this was a representation of one's spiritual state being a mastery over their animalistic qualities. You see? So this is how our ancestors was able to view these things. But those who are coming up now don't have that mentality. They don't know anything about this because they want to be savage. If you try to make them be anything other than that, then they feel like that's soft. And all that's a myth. I've been stopped dealing with that type of philosophy in my youth. Because the person that you think is the softest end up being the one that take the one out the count that's supposed to be the hardest. And I learned that from my grandmother. She would say back in the day, when I would be getting into conflict, and a lot of time it was coming to me. I wasn't looking for no conflict, but then I knew how to finish it. And then she say, son, a scared person kill you. That's what my grandmother used to say, and that's what made me change my outlook on things and say, you can't underestimate nobody. You got to treat everybody as if they're a threat. Even the one that looked like he ain't a threat. You see what I'm saying? And that's just living in the world of coming up, rites of passage that we deal with. You see? But nevertheless, what we're getting at is that this book, The 48 Laws of Power, is a book that caters to the animalistic passions. Because again, this is dealing with warfare on a different level. You see? And I'm going to go into it in a minute. Many of our people, our leaders, have become crucified messiahs. meaning that they were took off the count. You know, they had their character assassinated. They had their reputation attacked, you know, because that's what they do before they take you off the count. In most cases, I learned years ago, I came to the conclusion when they start trying to assassinate your character, you know, far greater is that which exists in their heart. That's what the Quran said. Rank hatred has already appeared from their lips. Far greater is that which exists within their hearts. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You done ever been in a situation where, you know, you was dealing with a person and thought y'all was, you know, solid in relation to each other. And next thing you know, they show their hand and they show that they was the enemy. Some people call it sleeping with the enemy. I don't know about sleeping with the enemy, but that's what they call it. They was the adversary all the while right there. And all it took was a situation to bring it out of them. And when it comes to the front, to a head, so to speak, you have it in your mind, and sometimes you may vocalize it and say, man, you had that in your heart all the while. You been had this in you. You see, you automatically know that it was already there. And sometimes we might have a premonition, or we might already have the thought pattern, you know, to where we able to identify it, and we may push it in the back of our mind. Nah, that one ain't demonstrating like that. It can be with a friend, it can be with, you know, even your significant other. You know, you have the thought, you know, sometimes wisdom, intuition, you know, come in, you know, because it's, you know, the good that's within you, you know, that gives you the warning before destruction. All of us have that instinctively within us, you know, and if we listen to, you know, our first mind, then in most cases we can avoid becoming victims and being victimized, you know, by anybody else that is in the mindset that they want to do some harm to you, you know. And most people now in this era in time, because it's so much of a lack of trust when it comes to dealing with our people, everybody's looking at everybody sideways. That's one of the reasons why we can't come together. Remember, I told you that's what we talking about. One of the reasons that we can't come together is because our people have a lack of trust. And this European has extracted every last drop of love that we had in us up out of us. So you don't find love within the relationship in the home front no more. You don't find love between the brother and the sister like it was back in the day. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That don't exist no more. You know, you have a brother and a sister and they may be together and they all stepping out on each other and, you know, all types of crazy stuff. The love ain't what it was when we was coming up. We seen the last of that in my era. In fact, the young generation looking at you crazy if you talking about being, you know, in that type of union. And it's the same thing when it comes to so-called friends. They don't have the same love that they had for each other that they used to have back in the day. It's nothing now for a friend to try to backdoor another friend. And this backdoor, you know, goes beyond, you know, just dealing with a woman aspect. I'm talking about they may backdoor you in business. You know, they may backdoor you, you know, in different levels of where you may be trying to advance. You see? And a lot of this has to do with envy, jealousy, you know, these type of traits. Sometimes you can't even see them until they manifest. We have those who have these traits even within the conscious community. There are those who will envy you for your knowledge. They will envy you for information. They will envy you to the extent to where it becomes a hatred. Or like the brother from down here in the South, the young brother Bootsy say, hypnotized with hatred. You know, people, you know, will literally hate you for being you. People will hate you. You ain't even got to be doing nothing. So you can always, on any day, offend somebody just for being you. Like if you too real and somebody don't have the courage in them to be as real as you are, that will cause them to hate you. It will cause them to also, if they get too deep into the hatred, they would even want to plot in order to bring about your downfall, to see your demise. Because you being you make them feel less within themselves. They are measuring themselves by you. You see? Oh, we're going to talk about it today. And we have a lot of this going on within our ranks, people. This is what's going on amongst us. But to have that going on and then have our people become eloquent in ignorance, that's what I call it. What I mean when I say eloquent in ignorance, I'm talking about somebody that can be well spoken in verbalizing, chaos. And we see this in social media. We see right now there are celebrities attacking other celebrities, especially amongst our people. And it's crazy because you don't really see the European, not to the extent that we own. You know how they say black on black crime, is pretty much rampant in our community. I mean, the so-called NBC and black on black, opposition is running rampant, in the conscious community and amongst the celebrities. And our people, again, they're dealing with that conniving, that cutthroat, dog eat dog, crab in the barrel mentality. Even money can't change it. Look at the babies. Look at the young brothers. Got all that money. And they utilizing it to build up little mini cadres to have little tribal wars amongst each other. And so now this is another culture, and it's going to only get worse because nobody is giving them the information. Nobody is teaching them. Nobody is taking out the time to try to elevate them. And some of them, it's hard to reach them, especially when they look at you like you don't have nothing. Because that's what they judge you on. They judge you on what it is that you have. The only way that you can speak to them is that you show them some form of how you have been successful. Because they're not looking at information based on how it can aid you in changing you, because they're young. They're not thinking like that. They're thinking like, well, since this is good that you telling me, why you living like that? Why you ain't got nothing? Why you struggling? Some of them do this not just looking at people outside. They go by this mindset at looking at their own parents. And this is based on the pressure that they are getting from their peers. What it is they may be doing, what it is that they have. And so you see that this is a vicious cycle. One that was definitely, prophesied and foreshadowed by our brother Malcolm when he said we trapped in a vicious cycle. You see? And it is indeed a cycle. In every cycle is a paradigm shift, be it negative or positive. Just as we have positive cycles of many God men coming on the manifest to teach our people, even after we leave the body. Because we got a chance, we're going to be transitioning out of here, we're going to leave too. Now what legacy we leave behind, that's going to be on us. But there will always be somebody, long after we off the manifest, as long as this globe spinning on its axis, so to speak, it's going to always be somebody come up out of our midst, to guide our people further along the way. And these are all paradigm shifts, milestones in the journey of the race is what we call it in the Moorish Holy Quran. It's always going to be somebody that rise up, with greatness. It's just in the gene. It's the DNA. That's the God code. It's encoded in us. But on the same level, there's also an antithesis that will also rise up from amongst our own people that will be in opposition to those who will come after us. And that's why it's necessary that we put this information out here. We arm them with this information. The babies that will be coming up, it won't be as hard as it was for us to get it. Because that's all we had to leave behind. Like our brother Park said, we don't have no family heirlooms and family crests that we demonstrate now. We know the Moors had it in the ancient time, but we don't have that now. He said, all we have is cotton. And you know what cotton picking is. Picking cotton, you know what that is, right? So that's all we have to give to our people. Even those who claim to be so rich, we find out that the celebrities are hurting. They are not as rich, as people thought they were. Well, we know true riches, is on a whole different level when it comes to dealing with what we think about anyway. Wealth doesn't come from what you can achieve in things outside of the self. Wealth comes from what it has to do with the way you think. That's where your generational wealth really lies. What is it that you were called to do? What's your purpose? What legacy do you have? So let me get deeper into this. Now that we covered some of them things, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna go first into our Moorish Holy Quran. And I want to go to this word right here first and foremost. We're gonna deal with the word power. We're gonna touch on a few things right here, right? And I want to deal with those things that are specifically relevant to what we're talking about. All of it's relevant, but I want to go a little further. Here's one right here, and this is coming from the holy instruction from the prophet, the instability of man. He states, inconstancy is powerful in the heart of man. Now we say king's ambition is a sturdy foe to fight. Power is an illusion. We know power is an illusion, but king's ambition is a sturdy foe to fight. Anybody know what ambition is? Our brother Tupac had a song called Ambition as a Rider. He was letting it be known what all his ambition was. As a rider, he came with ambition, and his opposition that attacked him made him become ambitious, to let them know that they wasn't going to be able to crush him, basically. In one way, ambition can cause one, to break through certain situations, being under pressure, would put one in a state of mind where they hunker down, so to speak, and it make you go harder, but then you have those who are ambitious in the way to where they don't care who they crush and what they trying to step on. By any means necessary, they trying to make it to the top, and they don't care if it's their mama, their daddy, their brother, sister, cousin, all of that. They'll do anything that they could to try to get to, and that's desperation. The worst type of individual that you would want to be in the company of is one that's desperate. But anyway, it says, inconstancy is powerful in the heart of man. Intemperance swayeth it with it will. Quick temper. Despair engrosses most of it. 1 minute you up, next thing you know, a situation happened and you fall into despair. You go into a state of grief. That's what it's talking about. And fear proclaimeth, behold, I sit unrivaled therein. So in other words, most time when people are beating on their chest and say the loudest one in the room is the weakest one in the room, that's why I'm saying fear proclaimeth, behold, I sit unrivaled. Can't nobody do nothing with me. So you have people, and I call it protection talk. You got people talk real gangster over the internet. Like they want to do harm to people, and and a lot of time We said down here, that I don't know about everywhere else, but I know here we say you ain't doing nothing but talking, trying to keep somebody off your yes, trying to keep somebody off your behind. So we know you're scared. You see, who you trying to convince? You trying to psych yourself up. You know what I mean? You gassing yourself, so to speak. So that's what it's talking about when it say fear proclaims, behold, I sit unrivaled therein, but vanity is beyond them all. You see? And then it goes on, it says, weep not therefore at the calamities of the human state, rather laugh at its follies. In the hands of the man addicted to vanity, life then is but a shadow of a dream. So this is why I'm saying, when we get into, the circle 7-day theory, and we look at the reality of the situation, we see we got some real laws to live by. It's telling you, how you should conduct yourself, as well as, when you're dealing with the world and they bringing certain things to you, your response to it. So they be wondering, the commission don't never get upset when they be cussing you out. I don't see how you do it. It's because I'm rooted in what I stand on. And no matter what you say, you ain't gonna make me turn. I'll be the last one on the island standing here, and I'm gonna be who I am. I'm not swayed by the opinion of the trend. You see what I'm saying? And neither should any of our people be swayed by the opinion of a trend and worry about what somebody else think. See, that's one of the main problems that we have as a people. So anyway, here's a drawing here dealing with the illusion of power. It says, today he is the tyrant. Tomorrow thy servant is less humble. And why? He who is arrogant without power will be severe while there is no subjection. You see? And this is letting you know people change and their conditions change, based upon, how things come at them in life. You see? This is what we're talking about. And that's why we call this again, go back up here, inconstancy. So man is inconstancy by nature. Truth and falsehood strangely mixed. 1 minute he in his higher self, 1 minute he in his lower self. He dealing with things from the plane of duality until he becomes a master of the self. You see what I'm saying? Here's a drawing here. It says, there's no one who is able to change man from the descendant nature of his forefathers unless his power extends beyond the great universal creator, Allah himself. See, some of our people don't even know their descendant nature. They have no knowledge of their bloodline and their pedigree. Somebody told them they were Negro, black, and colored people. Somebody told them they were nothing, ain't gonna never be nothing, ain't gonna never amount to nothing. You see? And they believe that. And they behave based upon that belief. They don't understand their value because they're allowing somebody else to place a value on them in the first place. You see? But when you deal with power that comes from the ancestors and the God within, then who has a hand in strength that can extend beyond that of the creator within you and your ancestor? Who has that much power unless you give it to them, unless you yield that to them? You see what I'm saying? See, all this is just basic information right here. I'm going to show you another measure here. Here it is. This one right here. This is one of the sages speaking. Filio. Filio said, and this is out of all the different sages saying what they was explaining what was going on in their particular land and what it was they lacked and what they needed, in order to get their land and their people under stability. So Filio, being one of the sages of his land, stated, the need of Hebrew thought and life is liberty. The Hebrew prophets, seers, and givers of the law were men of power, men of holy thought. They bequeathed to us a system of love that was ideal, one strong enough to lead our people to the goal of perfectness. Now watch what it says. But carnal minds repudiated this law of love. Then I tell you, we have came to a lack of love, right? Carnal minds repudiated this law of love and filled the minds with selfishness. And purity in heart became a myth, and people were enslaved. It says, but when he comes, who is to come, he will proclaim emancipation for the slaves. My people will be free. We already know that our holy prophet was that one to come. There are many who have came behind our holy prophet, in the line of those whom were to come, to aid us in our emancipation from being slaves. But remember, carnal minds repudiated the law of love and filled the minds with selfishness. And carnal minds produce the same type of information, like we talk about them 48 laws. And so purity in heart becomes a myth now. They don't even, our people won't even respect somebody and the legacy of our ancestors. That's another thing. They did all that work in uplifting our people and teaching our people, family. And you got people that don't even want to honor their ancestors in the work that they did. They're now coming trying to assassinate their character and disparage them in their reputation. This one was a homosexual. This one was, in bed with the European. This one, so after a while, now all of your leaders that you looked up to, the greatness, is gone. So now where can you find strength? If all of your leaders were as weak as you say and you believe they are, and I feel personally a lot of people are doing this. A lot of this is coming from the enemy outside, but some of our people are so gullible. Some of our people who don't want to live a moralistic life, they are looking for a fig leaf to hide the shame of their wrongdoing. And they are doing this because it makes them comfortable to say that a righteous man, lives in the low. So they want to look at our brother Malcolm and say, oh, you heard he was a homosexual, right? You want to look at Martin and say the same thing. You heard he was a homosexual, right? And then you want to look at, everybody that you can find that was somebody. Notice that there's an attack upon the people. And most of this is because it's to break down our people from having a righteous example to follow. Same thing with Prophet Noble Drew Ali. They attack his character. Our people that ain't even got nothing, they never did nothing to help and build our people. They have attacked his character. This is the norm now. If you are somebody that stand on principle, as the young generation say, stand on business, you known to be reputable, you known to be somebody that is definitely about what it is you stand on, there are people out there that don't even respect that no more. They know, it's people out here that know what come behind messing with, for example, a brother that may have changed his life. Brother may have 150 bodies in his history, so to speak. They know what come behind trying to trigger that type of individual, but we live in a world now where people have a suicidal mindset, and they'll do that anyway. And then when they get took off the count, oh, what happened? He was a good person. He didn't mess with nobody. You know what I mean? But you can't play with everybody, family, like that. Some people will come and see you. I'm just telling you the truth. Some people will literally come and get at you. And that's why I'm really trying to put this is divine warning in this measure that I'm putting out here now. People have to stop playing games. Don't fall into the loop of playing games, man. And trying to attack people, because some people take that stuff a little more personal than other people. That's the European game. They can play like that. And they all right with it. But you can't play, with a chaotic mind, and expect, everything to be harmony if you keep playing around with that demonstration. And most of our people, again, like I say, We come out of a state of mental slavery, which is a form of mental illness. Post-traumatic slave syndrome is what our people dealing with. And as long as we continue to play these crazy games and being deceptive and manipulative, we're going to keep breeding head busters. I ain't going to use the K word. I'm going to say head busters because I don't think they got that in there yet in the algorithm. We're going to keep creating head busters amongst us, that's out here trying to harm. We're going to keep breeding that savage mentality. You can't quell fire with fire, family. You got to have, some softer elements. You know what I mean? So let us go forth a few more. And we're going to get into, this other stuff, what we was talking about. This is just talking about the love being the power of Allah. This is the type of power that we demonstrate. This is that messianic power right here. Yehoshua said, there's a silence where the soul may meet its God, Allah. And there the fun of wisdom is, and all who enter are immersed in light and filled with wisdom, love, and power. So that's the type of power you want to strive for. Nothing you do on this world is permanent, family. We only here for a fleeting minute, a second, so to speak. You don't know the moment nor the hour. So what you trying to watch the throne for? What are you seeking an earthly throne for? What type of power, to be sought on the earth, can be endured? How is it going to advance our people and move them forward? Some people believe power is just having the name of being the first so-called black president. They think that's power. And we can go in many different areas. The first this, CEO of this, ruler of that, president of this. You can't take none of that with you when you leave here. So why would you wage war on your brothers and your sister? That's why I know it's mental illness. When you know none of this stuff is permanent, you know that you ain't gonna be here forever. Why? But this is what's going on with our people. I'm gonna counsel you so that I may be the one. And all the while, when you fall in the dirt and the mud, the worms gonna eat you just like they ate your brother. We're gonna give it to you blood raw, family. We're gonna take away all excuses. Look, it said, we once like you were in these dens confined and thought that through these weird, uncanny ways we can attain the blessedness and power. Now, for the people that don't know what this is, one of the adept tests. This was Yehoshua when he was actually in the chamber, and priests would come to him through secret doors that he didn't observe in the dead of the night. These were really thoughts. They wasn't actually people. This was his thoughts in the form of priests that would come to him while he was in deep meditation, in the chambers, in the deep chambers of solitude, what we call the room of resolution. And so these thoughts would come to him, that basically those who were trying to uplift him and raise him up in his consciousness was actually his adversary. Don't many of our people think like that? A brother that's trying to teach them something, or maybe a sister trying to teach, somebody something, somebody look at them as if they are the ones that's coming to harm them. This is what Yehoshua was dealing with in this particular degree. It's called justice. These were the thoughts. You see? And so in his mind, it was going on that, in a luck of a moment, we were under siege, making use of all our strength. We broke our chains and we learned that all this service is corruption in disguise. These priests are criminals, just hid away. Ain't that's what they try to make us think about all of our teachers and high priests? They put their pants on just like we put theirs on. They ain't as holy as you think they is, they ain't nothing but criminals too. You know, they boast of sacrificial rites. They offer their gods and burn them while alive, poor birds, beasts, and yet children, women, and men. I know y'all done heard our people attack, anything it is we represent as sacred. Those who call themselves atheists. And now they keep you here a certain time that they may offer you up in sacrifice to. We pray, brother, you break your chains. Come with us and accept freedom while you may. Because they going to kill you in here. They talking about they finna initiate you into the mysteries, but they really want to take you off the count. That's what the mind said. These are thoughts that Yehoshua is having, but they are symbolic thoughts that represent a priest that's coming to him. Matriculation of the mind. But Yehoshua was able to stand up. He say, your little tapper show the light you bring. Pray who are you? The words of man are worth no more than the man is himself. These temple walls are strong. He's saying his mind is fortified. His heart is fortified. How gain you interest into this place? How did you get here? I'm supposed to be the only one here, but how you come here? It ain't nothing supposed to be but God mind up here. How did this demonic thought come up here that got me doubting myself and doubting the people that's trying to make me greater? These priests that's trying to take me through this mystery. Why is it that I'm feeling this way? Then they say these temple walls are strong and high. He said it, right? How gained you interest? They responded and replied to him, beneath these walls are hidden ways. And we who have been priests spent months and years within these dens and know all of them. And Yehoshua said, then you are traitors. And Yeshua said, a traitor is a fiend who betrays another man, is never man to trust. If one has only reached the plane of treachery, he is a lover of deceit and will betray a friend to save his selfish self. Yehoshua right here is debunking that 48 law of power philosophy. Because those laws have to deal with being on the plane of treachery. To think that you have to deal and live by them laws, you got to be thinking on the plane of treachery. And you're a lover of deceit. And you will betray your friend to save your selfish self. Huh? Behold, you men, or whatsoever you be, your words fall lightly on my ears. Could I prejudge these hundred of priests and turn traitor to myself and them because of what you say when you confess your treachery? See, it's some people that you can whisper. See, in Islam, it talk about that waswasil. He who whispers and withdraws after he whispers. The whisper or the whispering jinn has been the main reason why there has been so much disunity, so much of a lack of trust amongst us as a people. But in all actuality, they can't whisper to you. What make them feel comfortable whispering to you about your brother? It's something that you have displayed in yourself that might not be so solid. What is it that will make, a sister whisper to another sister about another? It's because she has seen something in that sister, where she sees some treachery in her and she can bring it to her. And then some people can be influenced by what they hear. And then next thing you know, they go off of what they heard, what somebody told them, and now they done jumped out the window based on that information and destroyed, a friendship with a true friend based upon, somebody that's basically meaning them no good. So, it's a powerful demonstration. Yehoshua was very powerful in this drawing because by the time it went over, like he said, no man can judge for me. If I judge before testimony is all in, if I listen to what you saying before I really get the low on what's really going on, I might not judge it right. Nay, men, by whatsoever way you came, return. He rebuking them thoughts. My soul prefers darkness of the grave to little flickering lights like these you bring. My conscience rule. The conscience is symbolic to the scimitar. You got to cut away those ungainly thoughts. It says, why these my brothers have that what these my brothers have to say, I will hear. And when the testimony is all in, I will decide. You cannot judge for me, nor I for you. Be gone, you men. Be gone. I rebuke you, Satan, and lead me to this charming light. It says, for while the sun shines not within my soul, there's a light surpassing that of the sun and the moon. It says, and then with an angry threat, they would do him harm. The vile tempters left, and Yahushua was alone. So, that's that hatred. I can't control you, so I need to control, someone else's perception of you. So let me go and slander you. Anyway, it says again, the white robe priest appeared and led the way, and Yahushua stood again before the hierophant. It says, and not a word was said, but in his hand is symbolic to the mind, the master placed a scroll on which the word justice was inscribed. Y'all already know that's that scimitar. Yahushua was the master of the phantom forms, prejudice, and treachery. And see, that's what, the book, the 48 Laws of Power is pretty much, pushing. Here's another measure dealing with a different expression of power as it has to do with a greater power. You see, and this is coming from our chapter that's dealing with the third brotherhood test, faith. And it says, the good that man for other men shall do becomes a ladder strong on which the soul may climb to wealth and power and fame of Allah's own kind and cannot pass away. Give me the poverty of men and consciousness of duty done in love, the approbation of Allah, and I will be content. You see? And this is actually dealing with one who's trying to seek, fame and power. Remember I was telling you? King ambition is a sturdy foe to fight. You see? When one is seeking fame, notoriety, clout chasing as they call it. So know the difference. So yeah, it's a couple of different measures in here, Yeah, it's a couple of measures in here. So yeah, I just want to touch on those particular measures there in and of itself. And I want to go now into the greater expressions over here, family. So now we're going to go into why this stuff is poison when it comes to dealing with our people. If you ever seen a lot of the shows, and I'm going to tell you one person that lived religiously by these laws of power, 50 Cent. 50 Cent. He is one of the ones that have made the laws powerful to those who are here in the industry. They are popular to these people because he even made the show power. Got so much that where he actually have a book called The 50th Law. I got it up there. Robert Greene, the author, 50 Cent, become close friends with this guy. And he been using the 48 Laws of Power throughout his whole career. And it has brought harm to him. And in some aspects, it's brought benefit to it. You see? And he's still using it. And there are a lot of executives that are using this stuff. Like I said, celebrities and executives. So next time you turn on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and you see all these individuals on here attacking, each other, then you know exactly what it is. You know exactly what's going on. I'm telling you, this is what they're doing. This ain't no assumption. I know for a fact this is what they're doing. And the greater reputation that you have for doing good, the more you will be attacked. And it's real bad now because we got AI out here now. They can do a voiceover and make you look bad out here now. You know, with some of the AI photoshopping that you can do out here, you can put people in places that they never been. With the audio, you can make them say things they never said. You'll see it. Just watch it. It's coming. It's coming. So let me go here real quick. This is my critique of these special demonstrations. Let me get in here. I'm going to open this up real quick. Y'all, like I said, be sure to hit the like, share, and the subscribe. You know, we got some grand drawings. And we going to give it to y'all, man. I'm telling you, ain't nobody going to bring it like I'm bringing it to y'all. You know, we ain't here to try to claim this European work. I'm critiquing his work. You know, I'm critiquing it in a critical way. You know, so I'm finna show you some of this stuff that these people are using. And it's causing our people to be divided. All of it is here, but I'm going to show you the main one that they are demonstrating right here. This is one of the main ones that's going on right now amongst our people. This one right here. This is the one that they love to use here. So much depends on reputation guarded with your life, right? We know ain't nobody going to let nobody attack. That's common knowledge. We don't need him to tell us that, right? But there's a deeper, darker secret to what's going on in here. We're going to get to it in a minute. Because there's also a reversal to every application of this law. In other words, he letting you know it's karma that come behind this law. But when you're dealing with supreme laws and you govern under the great God, this book has no bearing on what the Most High has for you. And this show you how far people out there gone and how far they lost. What the Most High have for you, I don't care what somebody try to do, how they try to plot, how they try to set this up and set that up. You know what I mean? Unless he allowed that to happen, you know, for you to learn or whatever the case may be, it's something for you to get out of that. You know, can't nobody put nothing out there and give you no foolproof method in the form of a book and a manual to tell you how this gonna happen and how that's gonna happen and we're gonna do it this way and that's gonna. Certain things, you know, may unfold based upon the theory, but that ain't gonna stop the Most High if you believe in him for making things go the way that it's supposed to go, or make things go other than the way that you think they're supposed to go. Because when man plans, Allah is the best of planners. See, this is why I'm telling you, but some of our people follow this book like it's a Quran or a Bible. So listen, it says, this is what he's saying. Listen to the European. Reputation is the cornerstone of power. Through reputation, now remember, we're dealing with truth and falsehood, strange in the mix. Through reputation alone, you can intimidate and win. Let's stop right there. Didn't I tell y'all about that bear earlier? Somebody got a reputation of, you know, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm the biggest head buster, but I do this, and you know, they have a reputation, as like some people say, not to be messed with. His reputation precedes him. You know, some people depend on that. Some people depend on their reputation. You know, to win, as they call it, right? But how many people in your life have you seen get an example made out of them because they thought their reputation was bulletproof? I'm gonna let that marinate a bit. How many so-called head busters that y'all know, if you come from the environment, if y'all ain't never been there, y'all come up in the suburbs, don't worry about it. But if you come from the gutter, you come up out the mud, how many individuals that you have seen throughout the history of your neighborhood? We all got a certain history, no matter where we at in the United States, of a long line of thugism. Show me In every one of these different places, I'm talking about New York, California, Chicago, Florida. Show me where somebody's reputation stopped somebody from stepping on them. From a mobster, an Italian mobster, that was powerful, a Don, the Don. What has stopped somebody from stepping on them? What has stopped somebody stepping on presidents back in the days? Or even now in this era in time? What did it matter about their reputation? Did anybody care about their reputation? Was their reputation the cornerstone of their power? Did their reputation alone allow them to intimidate people and keep intimidating people and win? Then he said, listen, he said, once it slips, however, you are vulnerable and will be attacked on all sides. That's a chain gang moniker. You let somebody disrespect you, then everybody gonna disrespect you. That happened on all levels. We used to say it like this in the South: you play with a puppy, they'll lick you in the mouth. I'm just trying to make it plain, people. You see, but reputation is not something that protects you, family. You see, so you really don't have no control even over your reputation, good or bad. You really don't have no control over your reputation. You don't have control over how people perceive you. You can be reputable to somebody and disdain by somebody else. So even reputation is an illusion. But we say mastermind will never screen themselves for the sake of reputation and fame anyway. We're going to do what we do regardless. And whatever come, it come. Because we ain't sitting here. The only reason you thinking that you need to try to protect your reputation is because you're a man of fear. The one that's trying to be the intimidator is actually intimidated. But anyway, it says, make your reputation unassailable. The greatest way, if you really want to try to make a reputation unassailable, is understand that love is leading on and victory is sure, people. That's what we teach, under the Circle 7 theory, which is the reality. Be the message that you bring. That's all you got to do. But you don't have control over the way other people perceive you. So your only fortification is being firm as you can, because true leadership will always be won in the hearts of the people. They know when you trying to pee on their leg and tell them it's raining. They know the difference between the two. Ain't nobody got to tell them that. It says always be alert to potential attacks and thwart them before they happen. Now, what's the problem with this is that if you always thinking somebody finna attack you, that let it be known you somebody that's living in fear. You're always walking around tucking your chain. How you gonna intimidate somebody and tuck your chain at the same time? That don't make no sense. You can't be the gorilla and the possum. But anyway, meanwhile, learn to destroy your enemies by opening holes in their own reputation. This is the portion I'm talking about right here. Then stand aside and let public opinion hang them. This is exactly the law that is being used repetitiously among our people. So this is letting you know that if somebody doing this, that they fear you, that they are cowards, they can't control your actions, so they want to control the way the public perceives you, the way the public looks at you. So they plant seeds of doubt. See, meanwhile, learn to destroy your enemies now by opening holes in their own reputations. and then stand aside and let public opinion hang. That's what they doing. When you see somebody getting up here, and I ain't talking about somebody getting up here just for the sake of really teaching our people, but I'm talking about people that get up here and they try to attack. For example, this is one way that they try to use this information here, this particular law of deception. Let's go into the aspect of dealing with Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Ones go and try to pull up all type of bogus information. Prophet Noble Drew Ali was a pedophile. Prophet Noble Drew Ali didn't bring nothing. He was a charlatan. Prophet Noble Drew Ali was falsely practicing as a medicine man. He was on the hoodoo. You know, all of this is to attack a man's reputation. The prophet ain't even here physically to defend himself. He don't have to be, because I'm here. And a couple of more that love him. In the government and outside the government. So you really can't his work speak for itself. But they are doing this to try to open a hole in the prophet's reputation. And when they put this stuff out here, the people that's ignorant enough to eat it up and accept it, they stand on the sideline and let public opinion, you know, pretty much be the judge of the information that they put out there. And they know what they're doing. And it's wrath to come to them behind that. Literally, they know. Not from us. Because we know methodically, you don't speak against the ancestors. If you speak against the ancestors, you got some karma coming to you. You got some wrath coming to you. And I pity you. But they're not only doing this with Prophet Noble Drew Ali. They try to do it with my chairman. Oh, yeah, he went to prison and, you know, he took drugs. All this type of stuff right here. This is what they're doing. They're attacking his reputation. Commission is pseudo. All that is using this stuff. This is what they are using, family. And they ain't just doing it to the prophet, my chairman, and myself. This is what they are doing to each other. So how can a nation survive and have people to guide them when you have our own people trying to attack the reputations of the people? So they pass down a legacy to those who are coming behind, the young and not yet born. Now they don't even trust leadership. Dummy. Pardon me. I'm sorry for saying that, people. I'm just saying, so basically what somebody is doing, what they're doing, people, is they are actually removing an option for our people to find their way out the condition that they're in. So here you go, 100 years later, you in the dirt, the worms done ate you up, but you done left a condition on our people back here where they in total chaos. Because everybody that they could have looked to for guidance, you said that they was a hypocrite. You said that they had faults. They was in their lower self. They ain't what you thought they was. Well, think about all the European leadership. How many of their leadership was perfect? We know George Washington was evil as hell when it come down to dealing with a whole bunch of stuff behind the scene. But them European put him on a pedestal like he was God that walked the earth. Huh? Look at the modern time. Look at Trump. We already know the diabolical mindset that he already telling you what he gonna do if he can get in there again. But yet his people hold him up like they swear by him like he one of the Greek gods. But us, we want to try to find fault in our leadership. And we know most of us have our own faults. Most of us are faulty. So what do you look like trying to point out the faults in somebody else? You need to sweep around your own front door. You need to pull your own weeds. You understand? So this is the poison that I'm talking about. This is what I mean. Now, you dealing with corporate America and you want to apply this stuff because they waging war on you or whatever the case may be, try it at your own risk. Good luck. But for our people to be using these tactics, these cutthroat tactics, conniving tactics on each other is the reason, and I'm going to say it again, this is the reason why the community is divided, people. This is the reason why we can't come together, people. This garbage right here. And I know I'm making some people mad because they think this is such a good book. It's such a good read. It's such great information to apply to yourself. But when everybody else going right, Commission going left. And that's what they don't like about me. Yeah, I oppose public opinion, even if it's a million against me being one man. But that's what make me a man. I don't go off of what people trendly say. I don't go off of what everybody else say because everybody doing it. I ain't never been a fad chaser or a trend chaser. I'm a trend setter. So I'm going to show you something here. Let's go a little further into this demonstration. We're going to bring it to a close, but we're going to keep bringing these things back because there's so much content we can bring on the manifest. You know, let me see real quick. Give me 1 second here. This is very important, family. We exposing this nonsense. I like to get to the root. This stuff here, this 48 laws of power, to me ain't nothing but, you know, an advanced version of Willie Lynch, the King Alfred plan, and the protocols of Zion. Just brought forth in a different packaging. Give me a second here. Okay, here we go. We're going to touch on a lot of this stuff. We're going to show you how this stuff going. And we're going to bring out some in situations that take place in real time. We're going to be addressing some of this stuff on how they done use this foolishness. And this is what's going on. We're going to start addressing our day-to-day issues on how you got people out here doing this stuff. So like I say, this is the main one that they're using though. You know what I mean? So here it is right here. Let me go down here. Listen to what this European say. You got to be diabolical. You know, well, he try to use historical aspects up here. You know. Okay. Let me see here. I may be able to hold up. I got it over here. I can let it read itself. Let's see here. Then I just give my measure in between. Where's that? Come on. Make sure we go. Oh, I'm too far down now. Yeah, we gonna set the record straight, family. We're gonna get our people on point at all costs. It's very important that our people, man, learn to love instead of hate. But this stuff right here, you know, this is dealing with lower self vibration, or what we call teaching our people the art of hatred, slander, looting, and murder, theft, and everything that harm. You know, and that ain't what we gonna be up here teaching. The higher self breed justice, mercy, love, and right, family. All these laws that they call laws of power, they are nothing more than laws of illusionary power, and it's truth and falsehood strangely mixed. I'm telling you, that's what it is. Okay, almost there. Okay, yeah, here we go, right here. Okay, 1 second. And this right here should be able to. Okay, there we go. Let's see if it'll let us catch it here.
The feeling of having no power over people and events
Nah,
is
that
generally
ain't no. It took me way back up there at the beginning. Hold up. We're gonna have to hit it right here. I know most of our people already read this stuff, but they never seen somebody go at it like I'm going at it. They never seen nobody critique it. Because everybody, putting it on a pedestal. If they can critique my Circle 7, in every book that I deal with as Moorish, if we can critique the Bible and the Quran, we can critique this book right here too. And everybody should be all right with that. And if they ain't all right with it, let them suck it up and deal with it. Because we're going to show us the same type of lack of mercy, that individuals have been showing for the truth. We're going to show that same lack of mercy when it comes to dealing with, this lie. My truth and falsehood is strangely mixed. I'm going to see if it let me come from here. Okay, let's see here. It may start. Okay. 36 Law 4. Okay, there we go. Mental satisfaction you gain with your biting words will be outweighed by the price you pay. I'm at GE1 the Oracle at Delphi. When visitors consult... Okay, I see what I got to do then. So I got to put it right here. Law. So much depends on reputation, guard it with your life. Judgment reputation is the Kamastain Aptwet TLMMGH Ripakutayan alone you can intimidate and win. Once it slips, however, you, me vulnerable. Uh-oh. Pardon self, family. I just seen my mute button was on, and I think that's why our brother calling me. Yeah, you calling me about my mute? Yeah, I was just answering our brother Barn Dog. Pardon self. Wow, I've been sitting here the whole while over here building. It's all right, family. It's all right. I thought I had came out here and pulled my mute thing off here. I wish he would have called me earlier. Thank you, Barn Dog, for calling me. So basically, what I was going over here, and we're basically what I was going over here, family, is that your reputation cannot protect you, from all situations. If it's meant for, us to be in certain situations, like I tell people all the time, you got crime bosses, mobsters, and everything. I want to apologize to our family too for the lack of the audio. But we got mobsters and everybody that have reputation, family. And their reputation then stop ones from doing harm to them. What we are saying is that dealing with these laws of power, that most of our people, are getting caught up in, they become powerless. We seen it with our brother Nipsey Hussle. His reputation didn't protect him from his fate. Our brother Mo 3, his reputation didn't protect him from his fate. And so many others, family. It didn't stop what was destined for them. And so when we look at these things here and we get into these different power games, and you see people playing these power games, they never win in the end, so to speak, because you never know what the Most High have in mind, for one. And I was going down here, and we'll just deal with this here, because he would tell you these are the keys to power. The guy, Robert Greene. We can start from here. We don't even have to go in through all the other stuff that I was reading up here. A lot of this stuff right here was just showing how, one had attacked one's reputation. They couldn't get some because they didn't have what somebody else had in reputation. And so what they did was attack that person's reputation and told them all type of disparaging things about them, to tear them down. And basically that swayed public opinion away from them. This is what you see being done to a lot of our leadership. This has been done to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. It's been done to my chairman. It's been done to myself. It's been done to our people in general. It ain't even about us. It's about the way that we have been treating each other in general, family. We have been treating each other, very disrespectfully as a people. And a lot of our people are using these laws of power and becoming powerless in all actuality, because what you put out there, the universe will return. A lot of these laws that they demonstrate have nothing to do with morality. It has to do with that dog eat dog mentality. It has to do with that, I get mine, you get yours later demonstration. I'm going to step on you to get, to the finish line. That's basically what this stuff is teaching. And it's diametrically opposed to what we call Ma'atic law, the laws of Ma'at. You see? So let's go down here to this portion, because most of y'all have this book probably in y'all possession. It's so popular, everybody got them. But it says keys to power. Listen to this now. It says the people around us, even our closest friends, will always, to some extent, remain mysterious and unfathomable. Their characters have secret recesses that they never reveal. The unknowableness of other people could prove disturbing if we thought about it long enough. since it will make it impossible for us to really judge other people. So we prefer to ignore this fact and to judge people on their appearances, on what is most visible to our eyes, clothes, gestures, words, actions. In the social realm, appearances are the barometers of almost all of our judgments, and you must never be misled into believing otherwise. One false slip, one awkward or sudden change in your appearance can prove disastrous. And I don't agree with this, because some people don't care about how you appear. Some people don't care about what you look like. They don't care about your reputation. They don't care how many heads you done bust or how many skulls you done crushed. They don't care nothing about none of that. Because if they gonna come, they gonna come at you. You see what I'm saying? It don't matter which way you come, it's gonna be the same situation. They gonna do what they gonna do to you regardless. You know. Yeah, they gonna do what they do regardless, you know. So your reputation is not something that can be used to intimidate your fate, so to speak. It says this is the reason for the supreme importance of making and maintaining reputation of your own creation. And he gonna harp on it again. He says that reputation will protect you in dangerous game of appearances, distracting probing eyes of others from knowing what you are really like and giving you a degree of control over how the world judges you. A powerful position to be in. No, I disagree. Because again, if you are dealing with an individual that have it in mind that they trying to get at you and do you some harm, it ain't got to just be physically. It can be any type of harm, you know, socially, you know, to your reputation, whatever the case may be. If you got somebody with that mindset and they hell bent on doing what they plan on doing, then your reputation ain't gonna stop them from doing that. You know, now if it's the will of the Most High, then He is the one that has control over what takes place and what happens, what He allows to happen to you. You see? So these laws that have been written here, you know, people really got to be careful, because you mess around and be done playing to fail for failing the plan in relation to dealing with just living your life. Look at what it says. It goes on, right? It says again, that reputation will protect you in a dangerous time of appearances, distracting the probing eyes of others from knowing what you are really like and giving you a degree of control over the world judges, right? You would apart where the world judges, how the world judges you. It says a powerful position to be in. Reputation has power like magic. With one stroke of its wand, it can double your strength. It can also send people scaring away from you. Whether the exact same deeds appear brilliant or dreadful can depend entirely on the reputation of the doer. I'm gonna tell you again. I don't know about nobody else, but I come from the country. I'm in the country. You know, and where I'm from, people know that you ain't to be played with. They know what come behind testing the waters, and they still a try. You see what I'm saying? So you can never think that your reputation gonna intimidate somebody, you know, and protect you from the way that somebody gonna want to try to deal with you. You see what I'm saying? You ain't got no control over that. You have no control over their perception and the way that they feel and the way that they want to express themselves based upon how they feel. So don't let this man fool you and have you jumping out the window. I seen a situation one time, and I want to give honors to the brother. You know, he was one of the ones that inspired me to get involved with music. He was a DJ from my city. We used to call him City Boy. But he was older than us. We was young, and we was at a dance that he created for, like, you know, we was in middle school at the time. And there was a couple of brothers, that was off of the streets. All of us from the same area, but they was the hustlers, and they was in there. They was up in the age a little bit too, and the young generation call them trappers. But yeah, they was in there and they wanted him to play Scarface, and he wouldn't play that because he was in there trying to have us with a lot of fun music, dancing music or whatever. And it came to a head to where one of the cats came up there and tried to stop his music and gonna make him play Scarface. And what he want to do that for? And they was basically trying to intimidate them, but they knew better now, because they knew he wasn't no joke. He ain't nothing to be played with when it come to his hands. He ain't nothing to be played with. But it was for them. And a lot of them got reputations individually. So they felt like they had him outmanned, so to speak, right? On one hand, they ain't respecting his reputation. But how it turns out, you going to see that he didn't care nothing about their reputation either, because before I know it, the brother, he took 2 chairs and he threw them chairs, the folding chairs. He threw both of them, arm by arm. And by the time he threw them, because he was running down stage with these chairs, he basically ran into them. Before the chairs can hit him, he was on them. All 3 or 4 of them. And man, he tore it up in there, so to speak. But I'm just showing you that on each side, the reputation wasn't being respected. Now the brother didn't do nothing wrong because he was in there. That was his gig, what he was doing for us as, the young generation. So they shouldn't have been in there trying to do that anyway. But evidently it was something that they was personally going through outside of that event. You know what I mean? And he didn't want it to go down like that, because we too young to be dealing with that stuff, and at that time. But them the type of guys that I growed up under, so to speak. And so, I learned at a very age, reputation don't mean nothing. So this stuff here, what he talking about here, your boy Robert Greene, talking about your reputation can control somebody. No, we seen mob bosses that get assassinated. We seen rappers that they called known steppers, or that they know would get down for theirs, get took off the count. Maybe in the European world, well, we can't even say that, because they know some of our people ain't nothing to be played with, but they still try them any type of way. They know some of them people that they dealing with can be potential head busters when they be up there on the European job, and they'll still try you like you ain't nobody. So your reputation ain't intimidate nobody. So what is Robert Greene talking about here? Since your reputation can give you some power. Now I can tell you where your reputation really, becomes powerful. Outside of this stuff he talking about, when you solid and you stand for something, when you stand for real principles and you unmoved, when you different from everybody else, that put fear in people, that intimidate people, but that also make people want to, rid themselves of you, so to speak. You see what I'm saying? So you can inspire fear if that's what you're looking for. If you try to intimidate, you can inspire fear just by being somebody that demonstrate love. Just by being somebody that everybody loves because of your character and your disposition. All you got to do is be yourself. You ain't got to be deceptive and trying to be conniving and cutthroat and all that other stuff. That's garbage. So please, nobody, don't follow, this. I don't know where y'all from, how easy it is to scare people where y'all from. But trust me, man, people don't care You can be busting your iron 7 days a week. And there's still some individuals, man, that'll try you. And they'll try you without the iron. Some of them will try you knowing that you'll do what you do. You got iron on you. And they'll still try to put hands on you. You understand where I'm coming from? I mean, at least that's how people was where I'm from. I know some dudes that, would slap a killer in the mouth and take his pistol. I'm telling you, I done seen this stuff, people. So I don't know what this guy is talking about when he's saying reputation, is going to keep somebody off of you. But anyway, he went on to say in the ancient Chinese court of Wei Kingdom, there was a man named Zhu Hizai, it says, who had a reputation for supreme civility and graciousness. He became the ruler's favorite. It was a law in Wei that whoever rides secretly in the ruler's coach shall have his feet cut off. Wow. But when so his mother fell ill, he used the royal coach to visit her, pretending that the ruler had given him permission. When the ruler found out, he said how dutiful is Mitsuhisa for his mother's sake. He even forgot that he was committing a crime, making him liable to lose his feet. Another time, two of them took a stroll in the orchard, and Mitsuhisa began eating a peach that he could not finish, and he gave the ruler the other half to eat. And the ruler remarked, "You love me so much that you would even forget your own saliva, taste, and let me eat the rest of the peach?" And later, however, envious fellow curators spreading the word that Mitsuhisa was actually devious and arrogant, succeeding in damaging his reputation. The ruler came to see his actions in a new light. "This fellow once rode in my coach under the pretense of my order," he told the curators angrily, "and another time he gave me a half-eaten peach for the same actions that had charmed the ruler when he was the favorite of Mitsuhisa, had now to suffer the penalties. The fate of his feet depended solely on the strength of his reputation. In the beginning, you must work to establish reputation for one outstanding quality, whether generosity, honesty, or cunning. This quality sets you apart and gets other people to talk about you. Then make your reputation known to as many people as possible, subtly, though take care and build slowly with a firm foundation and watch it as it spreads like wildfire." See, this is all dealing with worrying about how somebody else sees you. By you having to do this and deal with these particular type of laws to gain power, it automatically places you in a position where you believe you are powerless. You know what I mean? And that's definitely a beta type thought pattern when they talk about the alpha and the beta, because if you the truth, you don't need nobody else's opinion to tell you the truth. You're going to be the truth anyway. But when you feel that you are less than, then you feel it's a need for you to level up. You got to be in the mindset, family, where you already there. And then you ain't got to be worried about seeking no illusions of power, with a cutthroat and conniving mentality. So I'm telling you, a lot of this stuff that this guy is dealing with, I don't know. Some people may think that, oh, no, man, I can apply that. All I'm going to say is apply it at your own risk. But a lot of this stuff goes against Ma'atic law. It goes against what it is that our ancestors demonstrated. So we got to really evaluate our thought process, man, and what it is to deal with what we call morals and values. And then see that, watch, this truth and falsehood strangely mixed is what he giving you. It says a solid reputation increases your presence and exaggerates your strengths without your having to spend much energy. It can also create an aura around you that will instill respect and even fear. He's trying to calculate the way that somebody else would deal with you based upon the way you act. But that's something that can't be predicted, people. You can do your best to be in a particular character and people going to treat you the way that they treat you. You see what I'm saying? Because you have no monopoly over the way other people think. It says, in the fight in the North African desert during World War II, the German general Erwin Rommel had a reputation for cunning and deceptive maneuvering that struck terror into everyone who faced him. Even when his forces were depleted and when British tanks outnumbered his by 5-1, entire cities would be evacuated at the news of his approach. As they say, your reputation inevitably precedes you, and if it inspires respect, a lot of your work is done for you before you arrive to the scene or utter a single word. You know, it's certain cases where if you done good, yeah, people acknowledge the good you done and so forth and so on. But there are some people who will hear of your reputation of being who you are, people talking about you, and they would want to attack your reputation based on the fact that you have a good reputation. So it can always go, the pendulum can swing both ways, family. It says your success seems destined by your past triumphs, and much of the success of Henry Kissinger's shutter diplomacy rested on his reputation for ironing out differences. No one wanted to be seen as so unreasonable that Kissinger could not sway him. A peace treaty seemed to faint accompli. It says as soon as Kissinger's name became involved with the negotiations. At one time, America was seen the same way too, huh? Until recently. But anyway, it says make your reputation simple and base it on one sterling quality. This single quality efficiency, say seductiveness, becomes a kind of calling card that announces your presence and places others under a spell. A reputation for honesty will allow you to practice all manner of deception. See what I'm talking about? See, it ain't just good to have a good reputation by being good people. You use your good reputation to be deceptive. I mean, who sit back and think of stuff like this? But it's good that he letting us know how they think. Because that's exactly how the Europeans demonstrate. He letting you know how they think. Very diabolical. Masters of tricknology. Terrible. Casanova used his reputation as a great seducer to pave way for his future conquests. Women who had heard of his powers became immensely curious and wanted to discover for themselves what had made them so romantically successful. See what I'm saying? Man, this goes on and on and on. It says, perhaps you have already stained your reputation so that you are prevented from establishing a new one. In such cases, it is wise to associate with someone whose image counteracts your own, using their good name to whitewash and elevate yours. It is hard, for example, to erase a reputation for dishonesty by yourself, but a paragon of honesty can help. See this here, this telling you how you get up under somebody else and leech off of their good name. You're going to use somebody else's good name as a fig leaf because you done damaged your reputation. I know y'all done met people around y'all like that done did things they ain't supposed to do, mess themselves up, and now they want to use you as a scapegoat. Come on, man. Ain't none of that honorable, family. This is not honorable. I mean, after all, this is based on trying to wage war, psychological warfare. You know, so they say all is fair in war and love. But I'm saying this is truth and falsehood strangely mixed. And this same behavior, this same tactic, these cutthroat, conniving tactics, deception. He admits deception. This is the same reason why we have been divided as a people and as a community, family. Same reason why we can't come together. Hands down, I don't care what nobody say. That's my conclusion. It says when P.T. Barnum wanted to clean up a reputation for promoting vulgar entertainment, he brought the singer Jenny Lind over from Europe. She had a stellar high-class reputation. An American tour Barnum sponsored for her greatly enhanced his own image. We see this all the time in packaging and promo over here in the West. Anytime they want to promote their package, the same thugism that they condemn, they use the thugism to their advantage because they know they're trying to get this message out to a certain demographic. So now it's all right to push the thug persona. Now it's all right to push what they like to call the thought persona. It says, similarly, the great robber barons of the 19th century of America were long unable to rid themselves of a reputation for cruelty and mean-spiritedness. Only when they began collecting art, so that the names of Morgan and Frick became permanently associated with those of Da Vinci and Rembrandt, it says, were they able to soften their unpleasant image. Shame, shame, shame. You do so much dirt, you got to use your friend. Get a clean face card in order to move forward. You got to use somebody else's credit. It says, reputation is a treasure to be carefully collected and hoarded, especially when you are first establishing it. You must protect it strictly, anticipating all attacks on it. I don't know about nobody else, but you can't intimidate. You can't be a bear and a possum at the same time. You can't be scared and brave at the same time. By the very virtue of one feeling that they have to, put on a persona appearance of being ferocious, to keep somebody off their behind, let me know that you scared. A lion don't have to go around roaring to let you know it's a lion. But the lion presence is always acknowledged. But a lion don't care nothing about what a lamb think. All they see is lamb chops. So anyway, reputation is treasure to be carefully collected and hoarded, especially when you are first established, and you must protect it strictly, anticipating all attacks on it. You can anticipate all the attacks you want to. If somebody gonna get at you, they're gonna get at you. Verbally, physically, psychologically, economically, however you want to think about it, family. So, I just can't agree with a lot of this stuff this guy is saying in here. Once it is solid, do not let yourself get angry or defensive at the slanderous comments of your enemies. That reveals insecurity, not confidence in your reputation. Take the high road instead and never appear desperate in your self-defense. On the other hand, an attack on another man's reputation is a potent weapon, particularly when you have less power than he does. See what I'm saying? That's a hater. You perceive yourself to be lesser than somebody else. I ain't got what you got, so I'm going to attack your reputation. Come on, man. Do that sound good? Do that sound like anything that's moralistic? Do that sound myotic to you? Do that sound righteous to you? He got more favor than me. He got more than me. I got less. I see myself as less than you. Less than. I'm less than you. You greater than me. So I'm going to attack your reputation. I got to put a smear campaign. I got to dirty your name up. Come on, man. That's crazy. It says he has much more to lose in such a battle, and your own is thus far small reputation gives him a small target when he tries to return your fire. Barnum used such campaigns to a great effect in his early career, but this tactic must be practiced with skill. You must not seem to engage in petty vengeance. If you do not break your enemy's reputation cleverly, you will inadvertently ruin your own. You shouldn't be trying to destroy nobody else's reputation anyway. You should just be trying to build a foundation where you from. 48 laws of poison. Thomas Edison, considered the inventor who harnessed electricity, believed that a workable system could have been based on direct current, DC. When the Serbian scientist Nikola Tesla appeared to have succeeded in creating a system based on alternating current, AC, Edison was furious. He determined to ruin Tesla's reputation by making the public believe that the AC system was inherently unsafe and that Tesla's irresponsible in promoting it. See, this is the same thing going on right now with me dealing with the knowledge, and I'm writing a book right now too, family, dealing with the metal netter. It's powerful. I got it. I got some stuff I'm showing you that the metal netter ain't what they say it is. It's gonna be powerful when I get done with it. I'm trying to work as fast and hard as possible so I can get this out here, because I'm gonna do this first. I got the slatest, this false metal netter god that they done created in their mind in the form of your boy Champollion before I put the other information out here. So that's gonna be my first one. But nevertheless, you can see a lot of people that's out here, they want to attack the information that we bring forth. They really want me to put everything out here so they can see what I'm doing. Some of them so they can steal it and try to use it themselves. And some of them so they can try to attack it in their own works before I put what I put out here. And I ain't giving them that type of ammunition. But that's basically what they talking about going on right here. And they try to sell your rep. He's pseudo. That way don't nobody listen to what you're saying. You know what I mean? And ignorant people are turned away from information based on the public opinion. Y'all soldiers, the ones that's in here now, because y'all don't let nobody, sway y'all. Y'all take the information, you do your research. It is what it is. Y'all ain't about that buddy stuff. Honest to all of y'all that's out here that's willing to listen to this information and get it. I'm trying to touch our people on all planes, though. Like I say, mainly this information is dedicated to trying to correct what's going on right now amongst our people. Because this is what's going on right here. People trying to destroy people's reputation. But again, like we say in the Moorish paradigm, we say a mastermind will never screen himself for the sake of reputation and fame. Meaning it's going to be what it's going to be. We don't care what you say. We're going to bring the truth. See, that come with all that fratinism, in secret societies. I got something I'm going to hold against you. If you tell it, then I'm going to ruin your reputation. You can't do me like that, because I'm an open book. I say what I mean what I say. Ain't no destroying my reputation. You can't do it. Reputation is an illusion anyway. But anyway, it say to this end, he captured all kinds of household pets and electrocuted them to death with an AC current. When this wasn't enough, in 1890, he got the New York State Prison authorities to organize the world's first execution by electrocution using an AC current. But Edison's electrocution experiments had all been with small creatures. The charge was too weak, and the man was only half killed. In perhaps the country's cruelest state-authorized execution, the procedure had to be repeated, and it was an awful spectacle. So they used the human as a guinea pig in their first, demise by electricity. Ain't that crazy? And this is all because they was in competition to each other, trying to prove, who had the best methodology when it come to energy. So we're going to take somebody off the counts, cats, dogs, animals, people. It didn't matter. Terrible. But it says, although in the long run, Edison's name had survived, it says at the time, his campaign damaged his own reputation more than Tesla's. He backed off, and the lesson's simple. Never go too far in attacks like these, for that will draw more attention to your own vengefulness than to the person you are slandering. When your own reputation is solid, use subtler tactics, such as satire and ridicule, to weaken your opponent while making you out as a charming rogue. If any of y'all ever seen the brother Unc, this is the brother's character right here when he demonstrate the way he do. He like to ridicule, and they like that particular character. So they don't care about the information at that point. They just like to see you get ridiculed. You can be right as on know what, and he wrong as on know what. And this is the way it go. And in the mind of somebody that's willing to be accepting the doubt of you being who you say you are, bringing the information you say you're bringing, it can destroy your reputation if you ain't got nothing to stand on. But anyway, it says the mighty lion toys with the mouse that crosses his path. Any other reaction will mar his fearsome reputation, because a lion know what it can do with a mouse. So it says, image, a mine full of diamonds and rubies. You dug for it, you found it, and your wealth is now assured. Guard it with your life. Robbers and thieves will appear from all sides. Never take your wealth for granted and constantly renew it. Time will diminish the jeweler's luster and bury them from sight. So this is all about one that is in fear of somebody selling their reputation, so they gonna do anything. Some people panic and all that there. But when you ain't got no fear, when you don't walk in fear, you walk as fear, so to speak, man, you ain't worrying about none of that type of stuff. You know what I mean? The public is forever ungrateful. One minute they love you, one minute they hate you. But anyway, it says authority. Therefore, I should wish our courtier to boast up his inherent worth with skill, cunning, and ensure that whatever he has to go where he is a stranger, he is preceded by a good reputation. For the fame which appears to rest on the opinions of many fosters a certain unshakable belief in man's worth, which is then easily strengthened in the minds already thus disposed and prepared. And you can't always say your reputation gonna precede you, because when you move in a place where people don't know you, you got to create a reputation. That's why I say the reputation is illusion. They're gonna deal with you as they deal with you. People that know you, that you growed up around, reputation precedes you from that aspect, unless you're a celebrity and you worldwide renowned for what it is you do. And even that still ain't gonna protect you. You see, it's people out here right now that's well known for what they do, and they still being, mistreated. Some of the reputation that some of the actors and actresses have, and they still getting underpaid. So does their reputation really precede them? Does it make anybody respect them even more? Or is somebody manipulating their reputation? It says, here's the reversal. There is no possible reversal. Reputation is critical. There are no exceptions to this law. Perhaps not caring what others think of you, you gain, it says, a reputation for insolence and arrogance. See, now, he want to tell you, for us not caring what somebody think, that's how they feel. Because I'm going to tell you, I'm finna put this in perspective too. You ever seen a European and they go out their way to do something to try to get on your nerves, and you move out their way with grace, and you don't care about what it is that they're doing? You act like you don't even see it. That make them so mad, because they think that you are uppity. You got a reputation. So some of them even try to go out to let it be known, I'm trying to rattle your chain. You know what I mean? But the more that you show them that they ain't a fact, that they're a non-fact, they eat them up. Try it sometime when you're out. But what I'm saying is, he's saying that not caring is a sign of arrogance. How? If somebody gonna try to sell your reputation or who you is as a person, you ain't got no control over them doing that. You ain't got no control over their perception and the way that they see you. They're gonna do that anyway. But anyway, it says, but that can be a valuable image in itself. Oscar Wilde used it to great advantage. Since we must live in a society and must depend on the opinions of others, I don't depend on the opinion of nobody else. See, that's the problem right there. You can tell he got a beta male mindset. Robert Greene do. He has a complex and he lives in a world of fear. I'm just being honest with you. That's why he felt like he needed to arm himself with laws of power. I can read into his personality just by reading what he's saying right here. He depends on the opinion of others. I don't care what somebody else think about me. It ain't got nothing to do with arrogance. I just don't care. And you ain't gonna rent no space in my mind neither. But anyway, it says there's nothing to be gained by neglecting your reputation. By not caring how you are perceived, you let others decide for you. No, people don't care what your reputation is. They're going to already try to decide what it is for you until you let them know when they cross that line. When they cross the gun line, so to speak, you let them know that you ain't that. You understand? That's how I deal with things. In every situation in walking life, I deal with it as as approach basis. You know what I mean? What happened is you find out that I ain't who you thought I was. That's what's going to happen if you get to trying to come up with all these other perceptions. Then I'm going to let you know what it is. And we'll see where we go from there, how that turn out. But anyway, it says, be the master of your fate and also of your reputation. And the only way to be a master of your fate, family, to be honest with you, is by being yourself. Not letting nobody else make no rule for you, defining, who it is that you are, so to speak. But all this stuff trying to gain a reputation. Matter of fact, I didn't tell y'all about my guy, City Boy. When he throwed them chairs off there and dived off that stage full speed and running, swinging blows at them guys. What he hollered is, ain't now one of you ninjas, and he didn't use the word ninja, I'm using that word for the sake, finna get no reputation off of me. That's what he said. I'm telling you. So that situation was really applicable. That's what he had on his mind. He was protecting his reputation, basically. Now that I think about it, and this is way before this book was written. But that's what he said. When he threw them chairs and he went behind them, swinging blows, ain't now one of you ninjas finna get no reputation off of me. You know what I mean? But yeah, it like I say, it's something else, family. I want to apologize to our family too for the screen going out. And I end up editing that little part up out of here. I hate to do that because it take our chat up out of here. And we're going to keep bringing these measures right here. We're going to keep bringing these demonstrations, family. Again, the Circle 7-Day Theory versus the 48 Laws of Power. All we got to do is live by, what it is to be upright, independent, and fearless. One thing about the Circle 7 that our people don't know is that the Circle 7 has within it, that small little pamphlet that we call a book, it has within it teachings from all walks of life. So you will find the teachings of the Lamas. There you will find the teachings of Hinduism, Buddhism, Confucianism, Judaism, Islamism. They're all in there. And that's why I honor the Circle 7. That's why I honor the Circle 7, because we draw from all, they give us a basis and a foundation for all the books. And then, so by us having that foundation and that teaching, Now we can go into the Dhammapada, the Pali Canon, the Bhagavad Gita. We can go into the I Ching, and all of these books, because our Circle 7 pretty much touches on all of them. And that's what separates the Circle 7 from all these other books that have been called holy books. You know what I mean? So I'm not into studying war when it comes to trying to wage war on my people. I already know the deception of the European. I'm not interested in trying to excel in corporate America and be part of that. I'm a CEO. I own my own business. I'm a very simple man. I ain't greedy. So the 48 laws of power, and like I said, this ain't no attack on the European. I'm just telling you from what I'm looking at here. European is definitely one that was in fear, came up with, a way of trying to feel secure in itself. Fear is always false evidence and pure and real, FEAR. But that's basically what it is, man. And some people, if they in fear, they take to this information. They feel like they can it resonate with them. They feel like it was put in such a good way and concise. And so that's why it's constantly being brought as a bestseller. All he did is went and read the works of Makaveli, and then tried to break down his own particular drawing, because some people like, well, this is almost like Makaveli himself wrote the book. But if we go back to our brother Pop, his readings of the teachings of Makaveli, a lot of people don't know. Some of the book, the teachings of Makaveli, can be found in the teachings of Tahotep, the oldest book, in the world, so to speak. But anyway, Pop told Biggie, he said, you got seduced by the power. So that would let us know that Tupac really wouldn't agree with this 48 Laws of Power book. Even though Pop found Machiavelli's philosophy great, he wouldn't have agreed with ones using it, as they are using this stuff against each other today, fam. Like I said, you can go right there on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, right in Facebook, here on YouTube. You can go on any one of these channels and you can find somebody that's using this stuff against each other to tear each other down, fam. And that's what I'm criticizing. That's what I'm critiquing. This is the reason why the youth and our people are in disarray. I'm going to keep saying this. If you want to know why it's so hard for us to come together, it's because they have gotten into this. This is their new religion, being cutthroat and conniving. Dog eat dog, crabs in the barrel. You my enemy, I'm your enemy, all that type of stuff. Us against them, we at war. That's the mindset that has divided our people. And I'm saying it's at all levels. Whether you deal with the gutter or you deal with the highest class of our society among the celebrities. Can't you see right now that a celebrity get exposed every day for something that they say that they did? And it's the same thing when it comes down to our leadership. Like I said, these people have assailed the tax on our leadership. And when it comes down to it, what will the young and not yet born have to follow if all of our leaderships have become made to be looked at as if they are flawed? While the worms eating, us 100 years from now we got the young generation in a worse condition than we are, because they don't have nobody to look to. Because everybody that they could have looked to, oh, he say he was gay. He say he was running with the Ku Klux Klan. He say he was a pedophile. He say he was one that was taking, advantage of women. He say he was a thief. He say he was a charlatan. So who y'all gonna follow then? Because the European don't do that with their leadership. Like I said earlier, Donald Trump, to them Europeans, they swear by him like he a Greek god. Out of all his imperfection that he put out there before the world, he got his people following him in a cultic fashion. And every last one of them, George Washington, wicked as ever, a lot of these people, low key, even though that they are held up as, founding fathers and heroes. And, some of these people own more slaves, than ants own a colony. But yet they still have their people uplifting them. We don't do that with our people. We don't uplift our people. Everybody is being torn down. Think about it. It ain't nobody that's safe now. They got at our brother Malcolm, slandered him. They got at Martin Luther King, they slandered him. They slandered Prophet Noble Drew Ali. They slandered York. They slandered Yahweh ben Yahweh. They slandered Elijah Muhammad. They slandered Khalid. We can go on and on. They slandered, all the leadership now. Everybody got something bad to say about all of the leadership. And all of this is coming from a Europeanized mindset. Cutthroat, conniving tactics. And we have taken this as being a philosophy of our own, and our people have learned this so well. And they think it's fun to be playing these type of games. But freedom is not a game, family. So I know a lot of us have a copy of these particular books. You know what I mean? But like I said, 50 Cent was one of the main ones that made this stuff popular in this modern time, because 50 Cent, he came out with the movie Power, the little show Power anyway, to the series, which is based off of all this same stuff. That's why people so hyped up about it. Everybody know his relationship with Robert Greene, the writer of the 48 Laws of Power. 50 used this throughout his whole history, the 48 Laws of Power. He even used it against certain artists that was signed to him. And he used it against other artists to try to destroy their careers. And other artists have picked up on these same tactics, smear campaigns. This is a European tactic. Our ancestors didn't demonstrate like that. You heard what Pac say. He says, see the muted, they'll be crucifying brother severely. And that's exactly what's going on. The crucifixion of the crucified messiahs. You heard what J. Edgar Hoover said. He said, there'll never be another black messiah unless we create one. So the Circle 7-Day theory is based on the Messianic code, family. In our teachings, we are told that the great God Allah is the one that will show the proof of our messiahship. But we just got to know what come with that. I'm saying that everything of us being the truth and demonstrating what we demonstrate, it's a lot that come with that. And if you ain't ready to jump out there in that water or be on the front line, then you just stay put and let those who have the courage to get out there and demonstrate it, to demonstrate it. There's a lot come with being the truth and standing on the truth. And some people don't want to take that heat. Some people want to keep what we call that tinsel coat of reputation. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, it's called mudslinging. It's also called Makavelianism. Not Makaveli like our brother Park, but the Italian. Even Park said, he said, I took that name. He said it belonged to us, everything. They stole it from us anyway. So yeah, King Ambition is a sturdy foe to fight, family. And I'm showing you that our people would do anything and everything to harm each other when they're in a state of desperation, when they're in a state of fear. So when you see people doing what they're doing, a lot of it is fear-based. We're going to keep this going. We're going to touch on all these different laws they got in here, until we cover them all, but I'm the first to come out and start critiquing these laws, as they relate to, real morality, what they ain't going to say, I will say. And like I say, I don't care what Robert Greene say in saying what he said about reputation. Everybody don't respect your reputation. It just don't work like that in the world. Maybe he think that it work like that, but people don't care who you is, what you done, or what you gonna do. The only thing they understand is when you demonstrate it in real time. Then they know what it is. Then they ain't got to wonder no more. At that moment, they know that they done messed up, basically. That's when they get it. They ain't gonna get it just off, first sight, first impression. It don't work like that. Some people just gonna test that water. But like I say, if you inspire to have somebody intimidated by you, all you got to do is be real. All you got to do is be truth. All you got to do is be love. And that's gonna keep individuals intimidated. It's gonna bring a lot of hatred now. It's gonna bring a lot of beefing and all that right there. But I'm just telling you, if that's what you're looking for, if you're looking to have a reputation to precede you in the form of intimidation, it's gonna be based upon how real you is, how rare. Let's say how rare you are. When you different from everybody else, that automatically make other individuals fear. And you ain't even trying to inspire fear. You demonstrating love. But they scared because you demonstrating love. I'm telling you. How do I know this? Just like the European try to use examples of history. Look at Malcolm. Look at Maud. Both of them brothers was demonstrating love for their people. And they was feared, wasn't it? Look at Pop. Love his people. Feared, huh? People talk about, well, is it greater to be feared or love? From the Machiavellian aspect. So, I mean, you can't control the perception of other people. But there's going to be a lot of people that try to control the way that people perceive you. If they can't control you, they're going to try to control the way that people perceive you. They know they can't make you do what they want you to do. So then they'll go out there and try to run a smear campaign. They'll slander you and all of that type of foolery. But when you solid and you ain't got no kinks in your armor, they can look for them for a lifetime. And they'll never find them. Because you solid. You the message that you bring. You an open book. So what I'm going to do real quick. So I'm getting ready to shut this demonstration down. I'm going to probably have to clip it in that little segment where I had it in there. I really don't want to do that. But I will, just so that it can be presentable. Before I leave out, though, I'm going to drop this link right here. Just in case somebody want to get on, and dialogue a little bit about this particular measure. What it is that they think. Do you agree that this 48 laws of power is one of the reasons why our people are attacking each other in social media right now. You know, one of the reasons that, you know, a lot of our people's reputations are being destroyed. You know, one of the reasons as to why we continue to fall by climbing as a people. The book of Makaveli, Circle 7-Day Theory versus the 48 Laws of Power. Who want to come in here and demonstrate? You know, a lot of our people love this book right here. I got all of them. I'm telling you, I got them all up there on the thing. But like I said, you know, and out of all of the books that one wrote, you know, the one that he wrote, the last one, I think, Mastery, is probably one of the best ones I read because it deals more with the self, knowing yourself. You know, I think he went a little, he tried to go in on a greater level there. But this other stuff, you know, is dealing more with passions. Because if you deal with mastery, you ain't worrying about all that other stuff anyway. But you know, all he's saying is something that already been said by our ancestors when it comes to the degrees of mastery. You know, that's what we study. So that's why when you see ones out there be cussing and carrying on, you don't see, I ain't finna go into all that type of foolery, you know, and get out there and act crazy, you know. But anyway, you know, I got the link in there for anybody that want to jump up here and get a drawing. If not, you already know we're going to close the demonstration out, but I will be coming forth with more of these. We're going to keep the thumbnail the same. You know, this is going to be the presentation right here. Like I said, I'm trying to bridge the gaps. And we're going to start touching on real-time news that's taking place and showing how a lot of this stuff is applied by, you know, the misuse, you know, of this information. We're gonna get into all of that. You know, so all I'll say is our people just got to, right now, especially in this time, it's getting worse. So they got AI here now. Like I said, you ain't, after a while, you'll have people out here saying things they ain't said, and like I say, doing things they ain't did with this AI. You know, they got the ability not only to Photoshop, but they can even animate the AI. You can animate AI, you know, and it'll have somebody doing things they ain't never did. It'll have you saying what you ain't never said. I think it was a situation with the girl that was claiming to be kidnapped or something like that. I think they were saying she was using AI. You know, so, I mean, it's some crazy things out here. It's going to get to that point, though. You know, it's going to get to that point where people start really going for the gusto. So we definitely want our people, you know, to be able to rise upon that 7 within the circle of justice, mercy, love, and right. You know, that's what we always say when we open up. That's what we want to do. You know, and once we're able to elevate our state of consciousness individually, we'll be able to elevate ourselves as a nation collectively. Because that's the goal, family. Everything, I don't know about nobody else, but when I get on here and speak, I ain't getting on here just to talk. I'm getting on here with the intent of hopefully being able to inspire my people to come together. Whatever it is that we may be doing, we got to start sticking together, people. All we got, you know the term, all we got is us. That's a real statement, family. We ain't got nothing else. We don't own the wealth that we supposed to have. We don't own the land. We don't own none of this stuff right here. It's ours, but somebody else is taking it from us. All we got is us, literally. So if not us, then who? All we got is us, people. Literally. That's a literal thing. All we got is us. Ain't nobody else trying to aid and assist us when it comes to this dilemma that we live under. And it's bad that we take it as being a normal thing for us to live as we have been living. We don't think nothing wrong with it. Life goes on. Why even talk about it? This is how some of our people think. That's a sad situation when you accept defeat like that. But it all goes back to allowing somebody else to define you and define your reality. You got to put the boots on the ground, brothers. Time waits for no man. The question will be asked by the generations coming behind us, the young and not yet born. What is it that we had done to secure their freedom? So it is what it is. We see nobody came on, so all is well. We're going to keep doing these particular measures around this time of the day. We still going to be getting into our late night library sessions. Like I was telling y'all earlier, I was resetting my circadian clock, but we're going to get back on it. The late night library sessions too, but I'll be doing these particular sessions in the day from the book of Makaveli. You know what I mean? I'll be doing that in the daytime because I want to reach, like I said, the young and not yet born. I want to bridge the gap between, those who are already crossed over into consciousness and those who are, in between, so to speak. That's what I'm doing. And I know a lot of our people, like I say, they have made this book, The 48 Laws of Power, their street Bible. I just want to give a little caution in relation to dealing with this demonstration. Like I said, if we can critique, the Quran and the Piscean records, they call it the Bible, or any other teaching, then, Robert Greene ain't exempt from that neither. I know that's going to make some of our people mad, but yeah, you got to deal with it. It is what it is. We going to bring the truth over here. We don't care how you feel, who don't like it. You know what I mean? That's what it is. We're going to keep spitting this truth, and uplifting, our people. So that being said, family, that's it. We ain't going to hold you no longer. I'm going to go and see what I need to edit and information. And we coming back again. We just added on. This is just another measure, adding on what it is we had to bring to the measure of greatness, so to speak. So want to give honors to the divine angel wisdom for showing up. Creator of the boundless universe. Yaqub Hamid Gamma Bay, Sister Sakina Ra. Honors to anti-American American. Who else? Our brother Mari Bantas. Honors to you. And we give honors to you, brother. I see your New Year drawing, but our New Year start January 8th. So all is well. That's the prophet's birthday. It's also my grandson's birthday too. So let me see whoever it is. Meet Freedom. Honors to you as well. Yeah, I'm watching. Most definitely. Lavia Vava Ilaha Halil, brother. Peace and love. Gabriel Xaber, honors to you as well. Noble Brian, always showing up. Marquise, all is well. Yes, sir. Man, all of the family up in here too. Atham 79, honors to that good brother. C Mac, Man, y'all showed up today. Born Dog. Want to give honors to our good brother Born Dog too, man. Thank you, brother. If you still, online, because that sound I didn't even know it had went out. You know, so yeah, that's a powerful demonstration right there. And oh yeah, C-Mac, he instituted laws for the government of the world. That's chapter 35 normally in the average uh Moorish Holy Quran. But if you go into ours, we have different versions, of it. But it's there. That's the chapter on religion. So I apologize to y'all again for the break in that demonstration. Noble Brian said, I know he going in right now too. I was going in, brother. I was going in. Yes, sir. Appreciate you again, Born Dog, man. And if it happened like that, brother, and you on here, definitely anybody that's on here that's listening to me now, Born Dog was hitting me through Facebook. Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah. Jay De Niro, want to give honors to you family as well. Yes, sir. We getting ready to bring that book on the manifest once we finish it up. It's gonna be powerful. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, y'all most definitely be sure to get them likes up, because what it does is put us in the algorithm. And that's a good looking out for all of y'all. When y'all do that and y'all share it, it puts it out there so more people can hear it. The title itself should be enough for people to catch on. But this information, like I said, ain't nobody speaking on this. Everybody being redundant, and they recycling each other's information. You know what I mean? I stay in my lane. A lot of the stuff that I say and the way I present it, it's original. So, it's hard for the algorithm to keep up with originality. It more responds to, redundant, so to speak. And so eventually people get it, because I ain't one of the one that's buying views neither. That's another thing. You got people who be buying all these different views. The viewers and the subscribers on my channel are all authentic. They all come from the people that have been coming in to watch the information, and they coming in at a pace. They definitely coming in at a pace. We got like, I want to say 85,000 views in all. And that's all unique and all authentic. It ain't got nothing to do with what we paying for nothing. So we ain't trying to do that right there, because that's actually trying to fraud the system, and it can cause you to go bankrupt, in social media. And I ain't talking about with money. I'm talking about it can cause your account to be removed by getting them fake views up there. Putting that stuff in there because you be spamming the system. So all is well. All is well. And what I'm gonna do though, I am gonna upgrade to where I start going across more platforms, because I'm really just screaming to 3 of them right now. Really just one of them. I'm screaming to 2 of them, Facebook and YouTube. But I'm gonna start streaming to the other channels as well. So man, y'all keep supporting. It's all love. We're gonna get on about the day. And we got some more coming. Like I said, it's gonna be our time when we get into this. Dealing with the book of Makaveli. Want to give honors to our brother. And also honors to our holy prophet. Both of them brothers were the 7 of their particular era in time. Our prophet was the 7 of this era in time, and our brother Park is the 7 to the young generation. So that being said, people, we say Anqua Jet Saneb, Shemo Tepu, peace, law, and love, and peace, love, and law at all costs. and we'll see you at the next junction. Peace and love.